Hey, hope everyone's doing good. We're gonna start off another video here. We're just gonna do like a starting guide. Just if you it's not gonna be like super basic, but it's gonna be pretty basic. Just like starting out, starting the wipe. Maybe we're gonna show like some tips or at least on how I play for middle of wipe or end of wipe, depending on what time you get in. We're gonna talk about starting loadouts, and we're gonna get a little bit into traders, how I level them, who to focus on first, things like that. Number one, we're gonna be doing traders, starting loadouts, and how to level them. Level the traders, like which ones to focus on, all that good stuff. Number two, we're gonna be looking at scavs, how I use them, and how I think you should try and just focus on getting their loot out, put it on your PMC, and level them. And I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. Number three, we're gonna be looking over maps, the maps that I focus on at the start of a wipe and or even middle wipe, honestly, and just how I sort of focus on my gear and level progression and things like that. Number four, we're even gonna jump into the mouse and aiming. I feel like this is one topic that's not talked about a lot, especially in EFT. I think aiming and sensitivity, just like CS:GO, there's good settings and there's bad settings. I guess we'll even talk about the video settings too. I can throw that in there. So yeah, I did play competitive CS, but we'll just be jumping into little tips that I've learned, I guess, over the course of competing in CS and just things that you should probably know for almost any FPS game, to be completely honest. And then also just a little. So obviously, I got my socials down below. I'm also gonna add my Discord in the description down below. Now I have a whole EFT channel with guides. They're just like links to other guides, maps, and all that stuff. You can ask questions in the Discord if you need help with anything. Also, during my stream, you can hop in and I will be doing runs with viewers. They're just a lot of the time I'll be doing no comms runs where someone can join in as a hatchling, and then we just use in-game voice cues and like hand gestures and stuff like that, and try and actually successfully do the raid. Could be just good practice for new players, just get their feet wet in certain maps and stuff like that. So yeah. Other than that, let's just jump into it, guys. Quick little loadout rundown here. These are the items I suggest right here for your first loadout. I'm gonna explain why I think this is just a good, decent loadout for beginners. I guess to show where you buy them, top of a prapper. Level 1, you'll only have this trader. I'm high level, so I have all of them unlocked. But you head over here, you buy the TT, buy one mag, and then just buy some of this ammo right here, the full metal jacket. Big thing on ammo. This is gonna be quick, but basically, each ammo has penetration and flesh damage. Full metal jacket is really high on the flesh damage, but low on the pen. So if they do have any armor, you won't actually be able to shoot through it. So this is more going for like headshots. And you can even kill gear players with helmets on, as long as you hit them in the face. Other than that, just try and. This is basically to hunt scavs. You hunt the scav, you grab their gun, and then you use their gun to like kill PMCs and stuff like that. In the description down below, there's going to be a link to an ammo chart and explains all the ammo to you. You have to check this out. Especially if you're a new player, you have to understand the ballistics in this game. They're more unique than any other FPS that's out there. I struggled a lot with this at the start. I thought my bullets weren't working and stuff like that, but it's actually just because it's very complicated ballistic system. Um, and then basically after that pistol, just jump back into the loadout here. Level 1 Ragman, you buy this sling. Now you will start with some meds, but just so you know where to buy them, you go to therapist, get a painkiller, a little cheese slice is what I call this, and then you just get a bandage or two, right? Or you can even buy, oop, there we go, level 1. A little less complicated now. Painkiller, bandage, some cheese slices. I don't believe you have these until you finish the quest. So therapist is one of the quests you got to focus on. Salvos are pretty easy to find now though for the quest. And then basically you run this. I'm going to simulate an alpha container because not everyone buys EOD at the start. You basically run this. Okay. So this is going to be your loadout going into a raid. And then, so bullets, your cheese slice, boom, boom, boom. And then as you pick up stuff that you want to put into your gamma, you just take stuff out and you put them over here or whatever, right? The reason I run the sling, I wouldn't even run a backpack to be completely honest, but the reason I run the sling is just so that if you find something decent that's like a 2x2 or something like that, you can at least put it in your sling. Maybe if you have bad RNG and you don't get a scav with a backpack or a decent backpack and stuff like that. But now the whole point of this loadout and how I play, especially 1 to 10. I guess a quick background on the reason why I'm doing this guide is I met someone that through my stream. I killed him on Shoreline Resort, and he was a level 8 with an attack 2 and like a Sega and just like this weird gear for a level 8. And he explained to me that he was refreshing on fence to get an attack 2. You don't need to like this guy, he was level 8 and he had a better backpack than I did at level 48. So there's like I think there's a big disconnect between new players and like veteran players. You don't need to be loading out the best gear to win. That's the beauty of Tarkov. A lot of the good players complain about how armor doesn't do a lot because you can get decent ammo that will actually give you a chance to kill a good player. Now, obviously, it gets a little bit confusing when they have face shields and stuff because in this game, a face shield will actually stop a low pen bullet, but they aren't too hard to go through, man. So if someone has a face shield and you have a pistol, don't try and aggress on this guy. I'm gonna bring up a couple maps after this. I'm gonna go through the maps and where I sort of focus on in those areas. And like any RPG, if you're a low level, you don't run to the high level farming spots, right? You have to have your own low level areas that you go to, and I'm gonna show those. And just try and play a little safer. Don't try and fight every engagement. Hell, sometimes you can even third party just as a rat. So say 2 players go at it, they fight, especially mid raid, mid wipe to late wipe. If you're new and you have 2 players fighting each other, just wait it out. That guy's gonna loot up, gear up, and run. He's just gonna fly. He's got 100 million rubles. He doesn't give a shit. He's probably gonna leave stuff on him that you can actually grab. So when you hear shots, investigating what's going on is okay, but trying to actually engage in PMCs, not the best play at the start. Your survival rate's going to suffer on that. But because this loadout is so cheap, sometimes, man, if you're feeling it, man, you're hitting those 1 taps on your pistols, go for it. This is such a cheap loadout. It's perfectly fine. 1 to 15, honestly, I wouldn't even suggest buying actual rifles. I think this is a huge mistake that a lot of newer players make. If you are good at the game and good at aiming and everything like that, you can start buying a little bit better weapons like SKSs and stuff like that, because your survivability is going to be much higher than a lower player. So dying with an SKS, you understand how to make money. But at the very beginning, just rough, man. I've been there. I was scared on woods. I was petrified. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know how like extracts work and stuff like that. But for the new player, hell, even I will sometimes just run pistols from 1 to 15 because you just hunt scavs. Like you hunt a scav, and the first scav you kill is probably gonna have equal to your loadout. So there's no point in buying it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that comes across clear. I guess maps that you focus on at the start. I have my 3 sort of go-to maps. We got customs, we got shoreline, and then we got reserve. Now these are like little trifecta right here. So customs, you have to go to at the start for questing. At early wipe, sometimes I'll even avoid customs because I get on right when the wipe happens, and it's like a horde of players trying to play customs. So sometimes I'll just jump over to reserve, do some good money farming, or I'll just jump to shoreline and see what I can get on that map. I usually just run quick runs though. I don't try and stay in the raid too long. I know some people that do like 40-minute raids. If you can get through a raid in 10 minutes, you can do 4 raids in the time that one guy does a 40-minute raid, and you'll probably make more too. One extra little point I got to add in about traders. So there's the loadout, and now there's traders. Now how to level them. Now what I focus on right at the beginning is skier and peacekeeper. These are the 2 that you really want to focus on. Now, big thing to understand from skier is you want to get rec batteries, okay? You find rec batteries and trade them for 8Rs, okay? That's a big one. At level 2, you can buy the 8R. But if you're doing a lot of like going through cabinets and stuff like that and just looting around, from 1 to I think it's 11 or it's level 10 to get level 2 Peacekeeper. So from 1 to 10, you have chances to get a bunch of wreck batteries and trade them for 8Rs. Don't use the 8Rs off the bat, okay? Like once you get these, save them, okay? Any 8R you find in raids, save them. Don't even use them. Keep going back in with your pistols and save as many 8Rs as you can. Then with Peacekeeper, you want to be buying, so sell all your stuff to different traders, like Mechanic takes mods, guns, Ragman takes clothing and stuff like that. And then what you do is you buy dollars through Peacekeeper for the rubles. The reason why you sell your stuff to other traders is because like a mod is going to be worth more to a mechanic in just ruble value. And then you, with those rubles, you buy USD with them. And then let's say you need like 10K to level them up. To buy 10K USD, okay, it's 1.2 mil, 1.25, right? Now what you can do is like, say you have 4,000 USD. What you do is you buy, let's say these pistols, right? You buy 10 pistols for 1,000 USD. Let's say you have 3K USD, right? So you buy 3K worth of pistols. So you buy 30 pistols and you sell all the pistols back. And you buy whatever you can again and you sell the rest back. And you just keep doing it. And that's how you power level your traders. You want to do this. Like honestly, it's so pointless to be screwing around with rep and all this other stuff. And then once you sell or you get enough money to get level 2 Peacekeeper, this is when things change. So let's say we have level 2 Peacekeeper unlocked now, right? Now we get 856A1, which is a pretty decent round, to be honest. But on top of that, we also get MPXs. MPX a little bit underrated. Honestly, it's a pretty good gun, especially at the start of the raid. You could probably just run these, to be fair. 357, you can run these with your 8Rs. You run out of 8Rs, you don't have any guns, you can buy MPXs. In my opinion, it's always better to run sort of the guns you're used to. So that's why I try and stock up 8Rs at the start. I just like the 8R. I like the M4s and stuff like that. I'm used to how they handle and things like that. Now, let's say you get, I think level 15 is skier level 2. I could be wrong on this, but when you get skier level 2 unlocked, you're going to be looking at the prism scope here, the 2.5x. Just an all-around decent scope, honestly. It gives you a little bit more range, especially over people that maybe be just running red dots and stuff like that. And you just buy this, buy that, slap it on, you're good to go. It also clears the this too. Now, if you're having trouble with the 8R and maybe like the sites you like to run get blocked by the gas block, you can just get the low profile gas block and strap it on your 8R right here, actually. This attachment does not work with 8Rs, so be careful with that. You can't actually put that on and use any attachments with it. A little weird. I swear it used to work, but maybe not. Usually with the prism, you can run a laser or even just a flashlight just to help out with close range. Flashlights are also underrated. They're really good at blinding people up close and just gives you a little bit of an edge to win a gunfight, right? You also get like really good mags at level 2 Peacekeeper for the 8R. There's just so many good stuff at this level, to be fair. Now, comparing this to Peacekeeper level 2, you basically just get AKs and you get some PP ammo, and yeah, you're chilling. AKs are cool. They're good when you get all the mods, but at the beginning, I'm not a fan of them, to be honest. A lot of the time, the recoil is a little bit too high to full auto efficiently, and I can click just fast, so it's not a big deal. Especially with these coming at 800 RPMs, and AKs are at 650. Tapping wise, I can tap an 8R pretty freaking quick. So for me, I'm just an 8R fan. If you like AKs, hey, that's you. Do your thing. Prapor also just comes with good mods, has scopes, lasers. There's just a lot of stuff at level 2 Peacekeeper, and it's just level 10. So if you want to do run AKs, you also do unlock this, which makes for easy AK modding. So yeah, that's basically the guide on traders and what I go for, at least. So yeah, I guess right now we're going to switch over to the maps, and I'll sort of show how I do my runs, I guess, or like the hot spots I look for. All right, so this is a map of customs. So usually around this area, And this area is your usual spawn sides. Okay, we got left side, we got right side. Those are the sides you'll be spawning at. If we're doing the first quest to get scavs, honestly, right around here, there's always a sniper scav. So you're going to be guaranteed one scav kill per raid. Say if you're having a really bad time and you're only getting one kill, like one scav kill per raid, this is how like a really easy way to just get those scav kills. Now, big places to focus on at the start of the raid, honestly, just try and just hyper focus on the quest. Looting is cool, but you sort of want to get off of customs as fast as possible. There's just not enough loot really on this map to make it super worth it. And has like this map is extremely like PvP focused in the sense of there's a lot of choke points and things like that. But main areas you want to hit are Glass Medical and this new stronghold building over here. So those are the places I would check out. Dorms is okay, but you basically need a mark key, and because this area is so heavy on PvP, it's just not super worth it, in my opinion. There's a van over here, and right up here there's a camp. These two spots have good flash drive spawns, so make sure you check out those. And this can the van over here even has like CPUs and stuff. Sorry, GPUs, graphics cards that are extremely useful in your hideout. I'm just trying to think. So these two buildings right here are another prime example of places to hit at the start of a wipe. They will have the key. It's the customs key that is used for this red building on the second floor there. It's used for a quest. It's worth a lot of money at the start, especially since it has to be fine and ready to sell it. So again, these spots are like your main spots to hit. Outside of those spots, honestly, just hyper focus your quest and switch over to Shoreline and Reserve as fast as possible. This glass medical building will also get your Sallow quest done very quickly with Therapist. Now, PvP is going to be focused down here. At the start of the raid, you'll be start of the wipe, you'll be okay. But at mid to end wipe, it's going to be tough on customs. So you just sort of, honestly, sometimes I wouldn't even loot stuff. I would just go for scav kills and then just switch off and go to customs or Shoreline and get the shotguns and stuff done that way, or just buy them, depending on where you are in the patch. So yeah, customs, get your quest done, get the hell off the map. Okay? All right. So now we're going to hop over to Shoreline. Now, once you get off of customs, hell, even if you have a couple bad raids, don't focus on it. We aren't even high enough level to be worrying about traders so much. So try and get a Shoreline as fast as possible or reserve, right? So now, if you start at the beginning of the wipe, it's okay to hit the resort. Up here is where the big money is, okay? Now, if you're middle to end wipe, your best routes to get loot are honestly, if you're coming from this side of the map over here, you basically want to hit radar, power, gas station, evac. That's essentially like the route that I'd take, right? Vice versa, if I'm on this side, I'll just hit maybe the villa, power, gas station, radar, out. If the reason why I don't hit villa if I spawn on the right side of the map, it's going to be looted by the time I get there, and it's just not really that worth it. Another route that you can also take is you go villa, terminal, power, gas station, radar, evac. Now you do this pretty fast. You can sometimes do this one, which is another route I'll take, which is villa, terminal, power, gas station, pure boat extract. I see if it's open. You got to run out on the dock and see if the boat will extract you. It's super annoying to see if it's there. Radar and then extract. Right? And then if we go back the other way, we can go boom, power, terminal, gas station, maybe pure evac. There are 2 stashes down here and 2 computers, so they are good to check. And then if not, tunnel. You'll get a lot of scav kills doing this route, especially at power and terminal and gas station. You'll probably get like, I don't know, let's say 9 scav kills just between there. If say if no one hit these areas. You need keys to make resort really worth it, but if you're at the start of the wipe, going up the resort isn't bad. There's a couple key spawns around power. I think it's, yeah, power and then admin building are the 2 big key areas you want to hit on this map. There's also one at this starter bus by tunnel, and there's a couple over on this scav island. I'm just trying to think. That's pretty much how I run reserve at the start of the wipe. Once I have like a 226 key for East Wing and like the big keys for resort, you basically just beeline to resort. No matter where you are, you just run here as fast as possible, because the loot is just so good that usually you have to hit resort and then you can get out of there and you're fully looted. Plus you have the rock passage extract, which is really useful. So that's how I'd run that map. And there's so many scavs on this map that you only have to bring in a pistol and fight them. Now, power is going to be sort of a scary area to go to because there's a sniper scav there that has very good range of a lot of areas. So just be aware of that. You might want to hit gas station or terminal first, or you can kill the sniper scav. Just you got to approach them in a smart way, make sure there's cover between you, blah blah blah, all that jazz. Now we'll jump over to reserve. So now we're on reserve. Also, shout out to all the people that make these maps. Freaking godsends, okay? Now, reserve. This is the money. You can roll around because there's so much loot on this map. You can just roll around in the grass and you'll be rich. Okay? Not exactly that bad. A little bit over exaggeration, but there's a lot of loot on this map. Now, you're going to spawn on this map and probably shit yourself because you have no idea where you're going, just like all the other maps. But, only thing you got to care about is this sewer hole extraction. Okay? Now, for my gear loadout, you will want to wear a vest over the backpack. Pesley's done a video. Probably everyone that's ever done a reserve loot video has talked about how you wear vests. Sewer hole extract, you cannot go through it with a backpack on. So you want to prioritize good vest. Okay? And sticking stuff up your butt. Okay? The secure container and the vest is how you're going to be looting reserve. Okay? Now, if you do want to wear a backpack, you might want to run this map a little bit slower, maybe. Getting a backpack and using the D2 extraction. Go YouTube it. I'm not going to do a video on that. Just go search up reserve D2 extraction, watch the video, learn it. That's your 2 primary extractions. Okay. You can go under the buildings like over here and stuff. That's where like the extraction leads, or how you get to the extraction and turning the power on, stuff like that. You'll see it in the video. The guy shows it. But it's pretty much D2 and sewer manhole. Those are the 2 ways to extract efficiently on this map, let's say. Because you're dying, man, you aren't getting shit from that when you die, right? So basically, loot path. I'm not going to show so much the paths, but the main buildings that I hit. There's a building here, and honestly, most of the time between these 2 buildings, I'm full if I'm just doing a vest loot run and I'm just trying to get in and out really fast. Honestly, these 2 buildings, and I'm full. Say if I'm not, maybe I got bad RNG or maybe I was late, then it's just these 2 buildings. Right here. White Horse has a lot of gun attachments on the roof. Honestly, so does the Black Horse, but I find there's just more on the white one. These are the main buildings you hit, to be honest. That's pretty much it. You just hit one of these or all 4 of these buildings, and then you hit the sewer hole, or you hit all of them and maybe add in a couple other. Oh, sorry. This building is good too for med stuff like Salawas and stuff. Say you're stuck on therapist quest, hitting this, or if you just need meds. Honestly, great building here. So high loot, high loot, high loot, high loot, high loot. Those are your main. Rest of this map, useless for little shitters. Okay. There's marked rooms that you need keys for. Those are very good, but you need the keys. So at startup wipe, mid wipe, and stuff like that, don't even worry about them. You could look them up and buy the keys. I can't remember exactly what they are, but yeah, you can go about that route. But yeah, that's reserve, guys, and how I run it. And now we'll move over to Scavs. All right, so talking about Scavs. All right, so now we're gonna look at Scavs. Now, here's my Scav. If you don't even know what a Scav is, depending on how new you are, a Scav is essentially like an alt character that you can run every 15 or 10 minutes, I think it is, and they give you free loot essentially. You're gonna spawn in late to a raid, but you can still like scavenge for loot. Scavenger, haha. Genius devs. Now the way I play this character or this whatever is I go into reserve and I run to an extraction. I don't loot. Like everything's been looted, especially when they changed the scavs and how they function on reserve. I just run to an extraction. That's it. I don't waste time trying to loot things because usually it's looted. All the high loot's gone. Maybe if I run into like some dead bodies or something, I'll loot those. But besides that, just run for the extraction, take all this gear and transfer it over to your PMC, and then run with that gear. The main reason I do this, especially at the start of the wipe, is that levels on your PMC go towards opening up new traders, new quests, and all that other stuff. Say if I have a 20k experience scav run, you probably won't have one of those, but imagine you did. That's 20k experience time wasted that could have potentially been on your PMC. So you just go in, always run your scav, especially if you're a new player. I never do scav runs, but it's for the experience reason, to be quite honest. But if you're struggling on loot or you're new and you just want to explore different maps, always run your scav and always run them on reserve. Now, the reason to run them on reserve is, if you remember when we were looking at the map here, the reason you want to run reserve is because the extractions for scavs are right here. Those are the main three. Now, the reason why you do it on scav or a scav on reserve is because the extracts are so close. You usually get like at least 2 of these, and you spawn almost beside one. Like sometimes you can spawn right here as a scav, and then run right over here and extract within like a minute, not even, right? And then bam, you're out of there. So that's how I look at scavs and how I run them. Yeah. So hopefully that works out for you guys. I'm gonna show you how fast it is to get into reserve and then get loot back onto your PMC, I guess. All right, we're in at 37, right on. We got CP fence. We're just gonna run over here. CP fence. Under 2 minutes. In and out. You could do that faster on factory, but you have a higher chance of dying on factory. So, yeah. So you get out, boom, boom. Oh my god. All right. So once the game finally loads, then you just come over here, throw everything on, and then go do a run. And then in under 13 minutes, you're gonna have your next scav ready. So you could go do this raid. You could win, go here, run this scav again. You'll have another loadout ready. Just run them through reserve like really fast, and you'll have a second loadout ready. And maybe say you do a good successful raid on your PMC, you could potentially have a loadout from your PMC and then another free one from your scavs. So you're already 2 loadouts ahead, right? So yeah, that's pretty much scavs, and then we're just gonna jump over into the aim guide. Hey guys, so just at the starting of the mouse settings and aiming tips and stuff like that. So the big one you want to go to first is go down to the search bar you have in the bottom left for Windows, and then search in mouse settings. It'll bring up this screen. You want to click on additional mouse options. Then you want to go to pointer speed. Make sure this is on this exact slot right in the center. can't remember the exact detail. There is a reasoning. It's like in pixel skip and stuff like that. If you go too far to the right or the left, and that's the big one there. Nothing else really matters here. Oh, sorry, the enhanced pointer precision. So you want to make sure that is clicked off, no check mark there. Just it'll add in mouse accel, which means if you move the mouse from like point A to point B and say it's like 3 inches, right? Point A to point B. If you move that faster, like the mouse faster from point A to point B, it'll actually move farther on screen. Or if you go slower, it won't move as far. So you don't ever want to really use mouse acceleration in anything, to be honest. And then the next part, so now we're moving into like the actual in-game sensitivity. Now, I play on 0.3 and 0.25. Now, you can look at like a lot of the good EFT players, and they play around 0.45, 0.5, around that sensitivity at 400 DPI. Now, you have to understand what your DPI is on your mouse, or in-game sensitivity values don't matter, right? So, let's say you're playing on, let's see some of the DPIs I've heard. Like, let's say 1600 DPI, right? So now to do this calculation, you want to do your sensitivity. So let's say we're playing at, like mine, 0.25 aim sensitivity, okay? You times your sensitivity by your DPI. So let's say 1600 DPI, right? And then you divide it by 400, okay? So my aim, so for those sensitivities to match up, I would have to turn my aim sensitivity to 1 if I was at 400 DPI. So you're technically playing with 4 times faster the sensitivity of like most good players in EFT, right? Now, there will always be an outlier. Someone plays extremely high sensitivity or someone that plays extremely low sensitivity, but usually there's an average. And from what I've seen, it's around 0.5 in EFT at 400 DPI, not 800, because if you 800, you're doubling the in-game sensitivity. Now, when I played competitive CS, this is something I always seen countless of times, is that people will play this outrageously high sensitivity, or even like decently high, and they couldn't figure out why they couldn't aim. And they just thought they were shit at the game, and blah, 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 and all this other stuff, or make excuses. Most people, from what I've noticed, is using way too high sensitivity to even be remotely consistent. Like, if you play 0.25 at 1600 DPI, your ability to be consistent is just garbage, honestly. Unless you're like one of those outliers. And some people will try and convince themselves that they have the dexterity to use that when they should probably be on lower than average sometimes. I've seen people even do that where they actually have to go lower than average sensitivity to actually be able to aim consistently. Now, moving into like weird things with EFT. So, I've seen a lot of people get this wrong too. So in EFT, when you put gear on and the heavier your gear is and stuff like that, you turn slower. Now, some people think that affects your aim sensitivity. It doesn't. The aim sensitivity is locked in at the like default. So if I could have all the armor on in the world, and my aiming sensitivity will always be the same. But now things get a little weird in EFT. I don't know if you might not watch the one part of the video where I put in the bonus tip. So I'm just gonna say it in this part. It does deal with aiming. Like, let's take pistols, for example. A lot of pistols are almost like double, they're probably a bit under double the actual sensitivity. So if you're really comfortable with rifles at, like, say 0.25, or let's just say 0.3, right? At 0.3, that's your aiming sensitivity on rifles. If you use a pistol, you're gonna have to drop your sensitivity to probably 1.5. Honestly, if you want to be able to use the pistol efficiently that raid. Now that can get a little annoying, but yeah, that's just, and even like different scopes have different sensitivities depending on the zoom and all. There's so many sensitivity inconsistencies with this game. It's frustrating. For an FPS, that's like the cardinal rule that you don't break in FPS games. You don't have the sensitivity flopping all over the place, even if it's for realism. Not. So yeah, we'll jump into the video settings here. So VSync, if you know your way around a video card, you want to go into your GPU settings, your NVIDIA settings, turn VSync off in there, and then turn VSync on in EFT. It doesn't actually turn VSync on in EFT, but what it does do is it removes the FPS limiter. I don't fucking know why that exists. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in a video game. But yeah, turning VSync on won't turn off VSync, and it'll get rid of the 60 FPS limiter in your stash and even the 120 inside the game. You won't really get over 120. I personally like it for my stash. It just makes moving stuff around smoother and all that stuff. Texture quality, honestly, just put it on high. I was playing around with it. Shadows low, everything. All this is what you need. Make sure you turn off all this garbage. Completely useless. Yeah. I guess just pause the video, copy this. Shadow visibility. If you don't like how interchange looks, I believe it's 55 is what you want to turn to, and it'll add in shadows so that it's not like I don't know if you guys were ever running through a building and at the end of the hall it's completely lit up. That's the shadow visibility. If you guys like the video, like, subscribe, hit the bell. You can follow my Twitch too, all that good stuff, and don't forget to follow the Discord if you want to any tips, show off your raids, stuff like that, and show off gun builds too. I got a new section in there for gun builds. So if you guys have cool like either budget builds or like expensive type loadouts, I like to try new guns all the time, so that'd be pretty cool. You guys can post in there, and yeah, peace. Have a good one, guys.
Darling, I've been tempted by the darkness.